How's it going, everybody? Thanks for stopping back into the Rocky Mountain EDC channel. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping in. Really glad to have you here. And if you're interested in knives and anything EDC, check out the channel. I'm sure there's something that you will find interesting, informative, or that you would like. Today's video, obviously stated by the title, is going to be a versus video. And we're really going to be taking two knives head to head and looking at attributes that are going to be very similar between the knives and the knife's purpose as a whole, and looking at them head to head and kind of giving an analytical approach to my own personal opinions and my kind of experience using the knives as a whole. Before I get into the actual versus series itself with the video, it's important to talk about the fact that I do not find it beneficial to do a versus video or take two knives head to head that have very different purposes or function. Taking a heavy duty fixed blade that's intended for hard use, bushcraft, camping, batoning, anything that's going to be really withstanding a lot of hard use, comparing that to a slip joint or any folding knife for that matter, is just not beneficial, right? We have knives that have different shapes, styles, locking mechanisms, lack of locking mechanisms, different steel types, blade shapes that are all intended for a different purpose. So I really try to make sure that all my versus videos are taking two knives that are very similar in their design and intended use. So please make sure that you take that into consideration when you are comparing knives or when you look at other versus videos or comparison videos. So without further ado, let's get into the actual versus video itself. The two knives we have, first up is the CRKT Minimalist. This is a very popular, well-known knife. This version I have is the cleaver version, and we're actually going to talk about the different blade styles and shapes that you're going to get as part of one of the comparisons. Then the other knife that we have, which might not be as popular, but it's been around for a while, and honestly, I think it's an underrated knife that hasn't gotten a ton of attention, is the Outdoor Edge Lay Duck. And both of these knives are obviously fixed blades, but they're in the compact fixed blade category. So they're compact, they're very small, and they could also be used as neck knives. So you could carry them on the belt, you could carry them on the neck. Heck, they're small enough, if you wanted to throw them in your pocket, I'm sure you could as well, right? With an appropriate sheath. But these knives fit in that budget of the kind of compact fixed blade knife. So we're really gonna look at a couple attributes that I think is important for this style of knife. The first one is gonna be the carry. So how well does it carry? You know, you can have the best knife design in the world, but if it doesn't carry well, then it's not very practical, because part of the use of the knife is also how easy is it to carry and, move it around. How does it work in terms of on the neck, if it's a neck carry, or on the belt or in your pocket? And kind of going with that, but a little different, is comfort. And that's going to be with the carry itself, but also comfort in terms of holding it and using it in everyday tasks or whatever task the knife's intended to do. Then we have design options. So does the knife offer different variations in blade steel, handle material, color, right? So kind of more in an aesthetic or more directed towards your needs. So if you don't really want a super pokey knife, right? If they offer a kind of blunted edge or a different blade shape style or a different grind or steel, that's going to kind of look at the design options. Then we're going to look at blade steel. So what is the steel type they're using? Then looks and design. The overall looks does matter as part of, do you like the knife that you carry? Not everyone cares about that, but I think it is important that, if maybe you're stuck between the two knives and you think both the attributes on the other categories are very comparable, does one look better, right? I think that's something we can't neglect as well. And the overall design, does the design work for its intended use. And then lastly, the size. And I think the size is important for this category because this is meant to be a compact fixed blade. And with size, this kind of ties into also comfort and carry. If it's small, right, it might be easy to carry, but it might not be comfortable. So the overall size, design, all of these can kind of flow together, but we're going to kind of dive into each one of these as we go. So to start off, we're going to look at the carry option, and we're going to kind of really focus on the sheaths that these come in. And the nice thing about this is both of these knives sheaths are very comparable in terms of the material and kind of the options you get, but we're going to kind of see some differences between these. In looking at the Outdoor Edge Lay Duck, we can see in terms of carry, you have a bunch of different attachments that you can do in terms of, do you want to put lanyard, do you want to attach it to a pack, or anything that is an exterior attachment. You have those options. I would say that you also have those options on the CRKT Minimalist as well. So that's pretty standard. On most fixed blade knives, you're going to see those. I haven't had many issues with the lack of extra attachments you can have. But I will say in terms of the belt carry option, these do have kind of different styles here. So the Outdoor Edge Lay Duck has kind of a clip style belt attachment that you can pull this apart and then attach it to your belt, and it also rotates to whatever carry style you want. So whether you want to do scout carry or you want to have the knife in vertical carry, you can have that option because this rotates as well. And it is clipped, so you can easily take this off if you needed to. The CRKT Minimalist has a standard belt kind of clip, but this is a slide through. So if you want to attach this to your belt, you're going to need to feed the belt through this belt loop here. And this does not rotate. This is fixed in this position. I think right off the bat with the carry, I think I can tell you which one wins in terms of the carry option. And it's really going to be the Outdoor Edge Lay Duck because it gives you the option to attach it to your belt, easily take it off, and change the style or direction of carry that you want. Again, another option that the that the CRKT Minimalist has is this lanyard to carry around your neck. It does offer that, so if you prefer that, then that could also be a win because the Outdoor Edge Lay Duck did not come with a neck carry option. So you could kind of argue if this is intended to be more of a neck carry, it has this. Outdoor Edge being more intended to be a belt carry, then it has that more kind of modular function on the clip. Now, I think as far as just kind of comparing that option, you can get a lanyard or some type of ability to carry this around your neck very easily. When it comes to the other options, especially with the belt, I think the Outdoor Edge Lay Duck is going to take the win on the carry. Okay, as far as comfort in the carry. So again, even though the Outdoor Edge Lay Duck offers a different options to carry it on your belt, and it does clip off and clip on very easily, it is a little bit more of a thicker profile than the CRKT Minimalist. And I can say that with carrying both of these on the belt, the CRKT Minimalist actually feels better on the belt. And I think it's due to the fact that it's a little slimmer design. It is going to be a little bit smaller in terms of the handle, and you kind of don't really notice that it's there. That is one thing with the Lay Duck that is kind of cumbersome, at least in terms of comfort, is going to be with this kind of thicker profile here. And it is kind of longer, and it does kind of have this portion here that can stick into your side if you are carrying it that way. But as far as comfort besides carry, we also have to talk about comfort in terms of the handle. Now, the CRKT Minimalist obviously has a very dedicated handle design with these large finger grooves and then kind of a lanyard attachment at the end to kind of support your pinky. The Outdoor Edge Laid Duck has kind of an open design for the first kind of 3 fingers here, and then it has this portion back here where the pinky kind of rests, and this kind of locks in your index, middle, and ring finger before you get to the pinky. And as far as comfort, even though I give credit to the Outdoor Edge Laid Duck in terms of a very interesting design, and obviously if you didn't know, the Laid Duck, this kind of looks like a duck head. So kind of interesting there. But even though I get the point here, this isn't as comfortable as you would think. It is kind of, if you have the wrong sized hand, this isn't super comfortable, especially with the pinky. They honestly could probably just get rid of this portion here, and I think it would be fine. As far as the CRKT Minimalist, this feels really good in hand, especially with those finger grooves. And honestly, with that little lanyard in the back, I don't really feel like I'm losing good purchase and comfort on the knife. So the CRKT Minimalist is going to win on comfort. Again, including the carry of the sheath itself on the belt and the comfort of the handle. All right, next up is design options. And this is really looking at, does this model offer different options to use? Obviously, I'm comparing the cleaver version here to the Outdoor Edge Laid Ducks. Kind of, it's kind of a weird hybrid. It's a drop point, but it's kind of got a weird pseudo Tanto style to it as well. The CRKT Minimalist, if you're not aware, has a lot of different blade shape options. This is obviously the cleaver version, so you're going to get a really nice straight, a 90-degree angle at the tip, so you can use this for really good utility, but it's not really going to have good piercing capabilities. But they have lots of different options. They have a drop point, they have a worn cliff, they have a buoy. They have a lot of different options in terms of the blade style. The Laid Duck, it's pretty cut and dry to this blade shape and style right here. So as far as design options, the CRKT Minimalist wins, because if you don't like the cleaver, they have some blade shape with very, I would say the exact same handle size and profile, but you get that option. So the CRKT Minimalist is going to win on design options. Blade steel, this is a very easy one. Both of these are going to be using an 8CR13 MOV. This is a stainless steel, not very tough, has a little bit of good corrosion resistance, but they're both very easy to sharpen. And honestly, with a blade length of these, in the softer steel, if you're out in the field, you can easily and quickly sharpen these up. So that's really not a big issue. And I would say, obviously different companies, I don't know, if the obviously 8CR13 MOV is going to be coming outside of the US. If the heat treatment is very similar, then they're going to perform very similar, at least in those steels. They both have high flat grind. So honestly, in terms of the cutting profile, with the steel, they should be very comparable. So this is going to be a tie in those categories. Next up is the looks and design. I think both of these have really good designs. I think for me, the biggest thing with small compact knives, especially small compact fixed blades, is, again, you're not really looking for a super large blade, but what's really important is it comfortable in hand, and does it work for the task you need? So thinking about different tasks that you're going to do, are you going to do a lot of draw cutting? Are you going to do a lot of push cutting? Do you need to do piercing? Do you need belly to do any type of slicing where you don't really need to go super deep in to whatever material you're working with? All of those kind of go in hand. for the overall looks and design. And I would say that as far as the looks, the CRKT Minimalist just has a better look to it. I think that the Outdoor Edge Laid Duck does have a good design. I think that it works, but I think that the Minimalist just has an edge, at least in terms of the looks. I mean, I love the green. I love the lanyard attachment on the back, and honestly, this just screams, like it says, minimalist. And you know, the everything about it in terms of especially the size too, it's just really comfortable in the hand. So the CRKT Minimalist is going to win it on the looks and design. And last up on the versus categories is the size. Now, both of these knives are compact. The Minimalist is going to offer a much smaller handle, but this lanyard does give a little extra room in terms of getting a grip on it. It is much thinner in profile than the Outdoor Edge Laid Duck. The only thing the Outdoor Edge Laid Duck has in terms of the size is it's still compact, but you do get a lot more cutting edge compared to the CRKT Minimalist. And this is, again, with the category, you want it to be small, but you want it to be functional. And this is really difficult to kind of determine because how small is too small and how big is too big. And honestly, I think the CRKT Minimalist is going to take it in terms of the size because it is small, but it is comfortable. And the blade is also a good size as well for the knife as a whole. I think the Outdoor Edge Laid Duck might have a little bit kind of too much handle working with it. And again, really the big thing, especially with the size of it, is the kind of strange point out here. I do get the purpose of it. I mean, it does kind of help lock your hand in a little bit, but in terms of size, this does offer kind of a weird profile, especially when you're talking about carry. I mean, you're kind of stuck in this position. You're not going to fit four fingers up in here very comfortably, and you're kind of stuck with it like this. So I think the CRKT Minimalist, this just feels better, and the size just works well for the blade shape and the handle material as a whole. All right, so that is all the categories in these two knives, and I'm going to tally up and see which one takes the win for this versus series. So the CRKT Minimalist is going to win with 5 points, and the the Outdoor Edge Laid Duck is going to only get 2 points. And honestly, keep in mind that this is subjective, but this is based upon my use and personal opinions. Obviously, I love the Outdoor Edge Laid Duck. I think it's a great knife, but the CRKT Minimalist, I think just a little bit more thought and time went into it in terms of the purpose of this category as far as the small fixed blade kind of options go. So that's the winner, CRKT Minimalist. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Give the video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the Rocky Mountain EDC channel. Thanks.